Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right in my living room where I do what I do. For you, to the lab, get ready. But you know the deal. Let's go. Right in 25 rule to live by. Storytelling, story with a message in the story for life. These are life lessons I'm giving. All you gotta do is tune in, and receive them. Do your job. Right thinkers. Right thinking mission statement is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment, knowing yourself to be a little bit better. Try every day. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka knowing thyself. If you know who you are, you can answer this question with no problem. Know thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. I can teach you. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and and believe that they know, dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep. I can wake you up. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my app, be true. Let's go. Today we got a good one. I've been feeling real good today, so we're going to hit the soft spot in me again. Right thinkers, let's talk about sharing spiritual love. Yeah, you know I'm a spiritual man, so everything I do is pretty much spiritual based on God. So having an understanding of what spiritual relationship is, let me break that down for you a little bit. That's what I like to have. Spirit is the common thread in life that connects us all and makes us all part of the one. The spirit that's in us is all from the same one spirit. Okay? So hence everything is on the one. Yeah, I know. All right. Now I use my spiritual knowledge, aka my learned intuition. I call it aka Aset. Y'all know as Isis, because the Greek's name y'all don't know about. So, but the familiar name with Aset is Aset. That's the opposite of Asar. His countermate, his wife, his other half that makes the Trinity. You got Osiris, you have Isis, then you have Haru, which in reality is you. Tidbit. All right. Spiritual love is when you will share your devotion to God with others. This is why we fellowship. That's what fellowship is all about. We come together for the common good, the same house, the Lord house, to pay respect for God, to God. Praise and raise Him and give Him praise. We all going to do that today. Every house has the same concept of praising God. Fine, no problem. I got no issue with that. The spiritual love is shared by God's children, mankind. If you're here, I'm in South Jersey. When I go up to fellowship, I can fellowship right down here with like-minded people. I choose to go with my people. Okay, so there's a choice who you want to fellowship with. Everybody has that right. That's the difference. Okay, we all are spiritual beings. When we get together spiritually, we are fellowshipping in the name of the Lord. That's why I do that every week. Spiritual relationships are better than physical ones because the simple fact physical relationships have to be in person. I can share a spiritual relationship with anybody all over the world. Okay, it's a spiritual concept, it's a mental concept. We both share the same concept about devotion and praising God. That's what makes us spiritually connected. Like-minded people, okay? When you share theology, a religion, you're sharing spiritual love. That's what it's all about. That's just my concept. I see it, I understand it. I'm just bringing it to you from a different perspective. Maybe you didn't see it that way, so I'm trying to help you out. But when you sharing spiritual, when you have a spiritual relationship, it's based on inner feelings and mental thought process that you share with somebody else. It's all based on feelings and emotions and thought. It ain't physical. That's the world which we headed to after here. It ain't gonna be physical, so get used to it. I'm building spiritual friendships all over the world. Thanks Facebook, and YouTube. Why? Because that's what stands it out. I can socialize with anybody anywhere now. Perfect. I don't have a problem with spiritual friends. It's a spiritual thing. We don't become enemies. If your love for God changes, that don't have nothing to do with me. Simple. And vice versa. That's why spiritual love, it don't have no barriers to nobody, because if you share a thought, you share a common feeling, that's fine. That's as far as it goes. Spiritual friendships will last a lot longer than the physical ones. When the physicality run out, when there's no longer having intimacy, when there's no longer having bump and grind, now you don't really bother each other. So it wasn't never a spiritual relationship, it was only physical. So understand that. That's why I'd rather have spiritual friendship and relationships. It ain't got to be physical. Spiritual love is the feeling we share for God. Don't get it twisted. I don't love you physically. I love you spiritually. Yes, with no problem. Okay, understand that. Spiritual love, again, is the common feeling we have for God. Today, we'll all be spiritually engraced in praising God. We're all on the same accord. That's what that means. We fellowship in spirit, a.k.a. sharing spiritual love. True friendship is the spiritual love shared by two people who feel the same way about their God, but they respect one another. So that friendship will endure. You don't do nothing to break the friendship when it's like that. We share the same love, a.k.a. and devotion for God, our higher self. I'm in Egypt with my concepts. My pastor is religiously inclined. We have no problem coming together and worshiping in devotion for God. I do it my way, he do it his way. That's common ground. We both have on the same accord. Different paths, different ways, but the same when it comes to him. Understand that there's many different ways to worship and praise and do spiritual concepts. That's all. Here you go, where I'm at. Okay, we share the same love. Okay, I claim to be a spiritualist, not religious, because God is spiritual. And religion is dogma that man put forth. I understand that, and I have no problem with that. Just like hieroglyphics is dogma that man put forth. That's all, same thing, different times, but it's all coming out the same. Like I said, we have different views, but the bottom line, God is always the end result. It don't make a difference which way you got there. Okay? The next one. Appreciate you tuning in. Spiritual love is God love. God, spirit, God. You got it. When you have that for yourself, you share it with others. That's how you share your love. Share love, spread love, whatever you want to call it. Okay? But that's what it's all about. Spiritual love. I live a spiritual lifestyle, aka right thinking philosophy. It's God-based because I'm God conscious. I'm thinking God all the time. That's just me. That's what that means for me. Being God conscious means I keep my mind on God. The devil can't come in. Why? An idle mind is when the devil's workshop. When you ain't really thinking about God, he gonna get you. When you become a master of right thinking, you will know yourself, aka God. Love for someone is physical love, pleasure of the flesh. Saying I love you, meaning, But spiritual love, I can say I love you with no physical intent, no sexual altercation, none of that when it comes to spirituality. Remember, in the spiritual world, there is no sex. There's not male or female. You're just a spirit. The male and female is for the body to do what it needs to do to reproduce. In the spiritual world, there's no reproduction. It's just coming in. Just coming in. Spirit's just coming in. It's called the field of dreams. Another lesson, but yeah. We call it heaven now. All right? But the things you got to do to get there, I ain't get that story. Here you go. Where we at now? God love, spiritual love. You do the right thing for God's sake. You praise him, you worship him, you live by his rules, you set boundaries for yourself, and you do what you think is best for you in his eyes. That's all. That's right thinking. I live to serve God. I teach his word and give guidance to those who are lost or in search of him. I help you find yourself by getting you to God. That's my job. I took it, I'm still doing it. All right, here you go. Last one, I'm about to wrap it up. When you share spiritual love, you're sharing God. That ain't hard to do. Some people, maybe it is. All right. We can share in our devotion to God Start with your young people first. Let's get the young people into God consciousness early. That's my take. Okay? Not by force. Make it fun. Make it educational. Make it enlightening. Make it worth their while to engage in their grasp it, they'll understand it, and they'll do what they need to do. Love for our family is not love for God. Love thyself first. That's what God is. So if you got love for you, you can share it. It starts within, and then it works away. It works outward from within, not the other way around. I have love for all. That's spiritual love. I love for mankind. Why not? We all under the same umbrella. We're family. Again, that's right thinking philosophy. Last one. I love to love. I love to be loved. And I love to share love. That's right thinking philosophy. That's how I do it. That's why I do it for you. I appreciate you all the time.